Hi, I'm Mark. I'm an award-winning qualified photographer and educator, and I host live Lightroom support events on Zoom. Most Monday evenings, I host a live community where over a semester we look at a theme, and for the first hour together we drill down into a task within that theme. The second half of the evening is we look at your questions. How do I do this? I've got a problem with that. Can Lightroom or Lightroom Classic do this? How can I work away from Classic on a tablet, web browser or my phone? Most Wednesday evenings I host a live Lightroom short, and those times are designed to provoke you to think about, I could do this in Classic. And it's all about your workflow. So for example, this recording, which was made on Wednesday the 12th of June 2024, was about published services and plugins. And whilst we didn't discuss the whole narrative and I show you all the functionality, it provokes you to think about, oh, I could back up my images this way and I could do this. And that's what the shorts are designed for, to give you a flavour of something. So without any further ado, let's jump across to the live session, which is recorded and hosted on YouTube, which, as I said, is on Wednesday the 12th of June 2024, and I hope you enjoy. If you did, please like, subscribe, ask a question, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Without further ado, let's jump across. Bye for now. So good evening, everybody. This week's Lightroom short, or Lightroom Classic short, is about published services and plugins. I've got a little infomercial which I'll show you in a second, that hopefully will explain what plugins and published services are. One of the things that I love about Lightroom Classic, Adobe is not afraid of letting you use other pieces of software, and they allow third-party developers to write a hook, a plugin, an app that will sit inside of Lightroom Classic, and there are a few that are in Lightroom, but that's quite new technology at the moment. But it allows Lightroom Classic to be the hub or the center of a wheel, and you can manage, edit, and then share your work directly from Classic to anywhere you like. Now, when I say anywhere you like, that could be a server, a computer server, so a website. There are plugins that allow you to publish your image to your own website or upload it to a server via FTP, file transfer protocol, or take it to a service, or take it to another piece of software. And Adobe is not scared in allowing you to manage your image, edit your image, but do some stylization in a competitor. And with the plugin, you would take it from Classic to On1, Nixoft, Luminar, Photomatics, or any specialism software. So there is HDR software. There is time-lapse. LR time-lapse is a software where you can edit your images, and Classic will allow you to take your images out to the time-lapse software, do what you need to do to create your time-lapse, and bring it back into Classic. So anything that you do outside of Classic using a plugin, it will save it next to the original. So for example, you do some basic edits, you correct the horizon, straight and vertical buildings, set your black and white point, perhaps add some contrast. But then you want to use Nik Effects Silver Effects Pro, which is a black and white specialism software. You can take your DNG or your raw file or your JPEG from Classic, open it in Niksoft, do whatever edits you want to do. You then save it, and it brings it back into Classic. To the best of my knowledge, it's the only application, any piece of software that allows you to leave the software and return to the software. And I respect Adobe for allowing that freedom, because most applications, on one, which I love, Niksoft, I love, they want to keep it, or my opinion, and this is all opinions, is they want to keep you in their ecosystem. They don't want to let you go somewhere else in case they lose you. So with that, I'm going to show you a little infomercial, this is by one of my friends, Victoria Bampton. She's a publisher. She writes a book called Lightroom Queen. Rel recommend it. And you can see that from Classic, which is on the right-hand side, via the cloud, you can go to any other device or any other application. So we have Apple TV here, we have the web, we have a tablet, we have another computer, we have Windows, so it's a cross-platform. So you could have an Android phone, but you would have a PC running Classic, or perhaps you might have Mac and PC. It's a cross-platform, and using the plugins and the publish service, you can send your images anywhere you want to send them. And I respect Adobe for that. They're the only ones that does that. So I wanted to show you tonight just a couple of plugins, and the philosophy is the same. So I've just pressed tab, and I'm going to go to publish services down the bottom left-hand corner here. And we have some published services already built in. So we have the Adobe stock and we have Flickr. And all these basically are exporting to a third party, but as the exporting company, or where you're going to put it, wants to receive them. So I've just clicked on setup, and this is Flickr. So you would populate this information. So the title, perhaps you've got more than one Flickr account, and you would authorize the connection. So you're allowing Lightroom Classic to talk to Flickr, and it may take you off, or it will take you off to Flickr. You need to log into Flickr and confirm it. And then the information that you want Lightroom to deliver to Flickr. So the IPTC data, which is down on the right-hand side here. And do you want to replace it? And you've got all these options: files, renaming, videos, file format. So do you want it, if it's a raw file, do you want to send it as a raw file? Do you want to change it to a JPEG? And all these options will be different for every plugin. Okay, so we've got resizing. You can, for example, you don't want to send your raw format image in this size, 45 megapixels. You want to make it a smaller image. So we would resize all this. And once you've completed this and press save, it's just like having a collection. You would have a collection of images, and you would press publish, which would be up here, and it would send them to that service. Now, to give you some ideas of services, there are thousands. If you go to exchange.adobe.com, which is also, back to Classic, this button here, find more services, you will find, and it will click Lightroom Classic, you will find a load of free plugins. Okay, So I'll put this in the chat as well, but you'll see all these plugins and you can type in what you're looking for. So Dropbox, if there may be a plug. So there we go, Dropbox. So there's plugins for Mac, plugins for Windows, and you find the plugin that you want. Okay. There's a lot of third-party plugins, which I use, and I'm going to show you a couple today. This is Photographer's Toolbox. And a lot of these have been built into Classic already. So somebody's come up with a great idea, and Adobe goes, that's a brilliant idea. We should bring that natively inside. So let's have a look what they've got here. Keyword mastering. Brilliant. It allows you to paste in multiple keywords from copy and paste, but it does it in a hierarchical structure, which you can't do that within Classic. You would have to paste them in manually. Let's see what else they've got in here. Let's have a look. Importing from a photo list. That's a brilliant little plugin there. Allows you to select images and the metadata and imports all those, and it respects them. So this is workflow. So there's lots of different plugins on this site, photographers.toolbox.com, which may solve a problem for you. Let's go to the next one. This is another one I use, Lightroom-plugins, Duplicate Finder. Brilliant plugin, one-off cost, £9. And it finds all your duplicate images. It looks at all the metadata. Backup cleaner. So when you export, when you back up your catalog, this plugin will delete your legacy backup. So you might turn around and say, I only want to keep 5 backups. It'll automatically remove the other backups. There's an easy way to do it yourself, just by going to the folder and deleting the files. Cache Preview Manager. This plugin, once you've deleted an image, the preview leaves a footprint in the cache of the preview. Well, this plugin cleans that cache out. Brilliant plugin. I use it all the time. I think it's about £5. One-off price of £5. And you run these, and that will make Classic run so much faster. See what else there is. So this is Lightroom Queen. This is Victoria, and this is her book that she's done. She's got some plugins here, which we won't go through, and some links and so on. But we've also got here Lightroom Solutions. She's got transferring your images to to Amazon. But the one that I quite like is what they call Big Note. And it allows you to write some freehand, free-form text against an image. And that's a free plugin. And there's lots of them out there. So I'll share those links with you in a second. But what I'd like to show you is how to add a plugin. So we go to File, Plugin Manager. And this is your manager of the plugins. And this is my training catalog. So this is how it comes out of the box. If you say there's Flickr, it's running. And you go to Add. And I will now go and find my plugins. So I've downloaded a couple of plugins. So here we go. So we've got this plugin here, Focus Finder. And it's quite an old plugin, this is. And I've just literally pressed Add, and there it is, Focus Finder. It's now in the plugin. And what this will do is will show me the focus points. So it's a brilliant little plugin. And I'm just trying to remember what the keyboard command key is. But we can go to here and we can run the plugin. There is a keyboard shortcut. Plugin Manager. So we go to Library. There we go. So we go to Library, come down to Plugin Extras, show focus point, launches the plugin. And there is no focus points on there because it's a JPEG file. So it's not finding them. So there are limitations to them. let's go back to folders. Let's find a DNG file. Let's see there. Let's go Lightroom, plugin extra. This is an old plugin. Let's run it. And it's not finding a focus point. So there might be a fault with that plugin because it is an old plugin. Let's see if there's an update. So when there's updates, you go to your plugin manager and there, and then we can come down, check for updates and showing the latest plugin. So there might be a fault with that plugin. So it's not quite working. Let's load the other plugin. So if I go to unzip the plugin, there is the plugin. Now let's go to plugin manager, add a plugin. There it is, add, done. And now on this image, if I come to big note, I've now got the space. I can write loads of text all about that. So it's an additional service that we're looking at. Okay, that is an additional service within Classic. But as I said, you can publish. So let's find another plugin. So let's go to, let's see what we can find. Let's see if we can find a service one. Let's see if we can find an FTP plugin. File transfer protocol. There we go. There's a file transfer protocol. FTP. So there we go. So now let's download the plugin. So let's start the trial. Okay. So open. And there we go. There it comes. Okay. So I'm going to close my application. Let's skip the backup. Open. And I'm going to install it. It's asking me to go through my credentials for Mac. And now it's going to install. Because I'm getting this from Adobe, it's going to install it directly into the app. And that now should be, there we go. So now we've got this FTP plugin. And this will allow me to send a file to a web server. So I could send it to Google Photos. Okay, I could send it to Amazon Drive. Okay, so if I wanted to back up all my photographs or into a service, there's Dropbox, there's Flickr, FTP, that's my own server. I can send it to Google Drive if I use Google. If I use OneDrive, okay, so you'd click OneDrive, you'd connect to your OneDrive, and whatever settings you asked it to do, it would send the selected files to that service. So if you're a Microsoft customer, you got 1 terabyte of storage. You could back all your photographs or your keepers to your OneDrive. And you just press the button and it would send them all, either the RAW file or the JPEG or whatever you asked it to do. And this is what published services or plugins allow you to do. Talk directly from Classic to third parties. Okay? So there's and as I said at the beginning, I love the fact that Classic's the center of a hub, center of a wheel, bicycle wheel. It's that hub, and it allows you to go out and come back, go out and do lots of different things, whether it's devices, websites. So there is a plugin, 2 plugins actually, that allow you to sync your images to a WordPress website. So Imagely is one. They've got all themes and shopping carts and so on. You can design your whole website with a download or print sale shopping cart, manage it yourself. So you're keeping all the money yourself and using PayPal or a company like Stripe for credit card and sell prints and downloads. And you can run it all from Classic. There's another one called WP Sync that'll allow you to sync your images from Classic to your WordPress site. Doesn't do themes though. But the great thing about when you publish, if you update the edit, or the metadata. So let's say your developing style has changed. It says republish, and it overwrites the file in the cloud. So there's none of this exporting, uploading. You just press the publish button and it does it all for you. And it overwrites the file with the new version, which is unique. So there we go. A very quick overview of what published services are and plugins. So it's identifying perhaps a problem that you may have that Classic doesn't do, or a functionality rather than a problem. Okay. Anyone, any questions? But your workflow, you may already have a Dropbox service. You may already have a OneDrive, and you want to back up your images, or you might have some functionality. So I use a company called Photo Shelter. And what Photo Shelter does, it's a commercial service to sell your images. Do you know what they call a white site is? Do you know if I said a white site? So it's a site with no branding. Okay, so they allow you to their service with your own logo on it. So your own website address, your own logos, and so on, and it doesn't say Photo Shelter on it at all. Okay, and you can publish your images from Classic to Photo Shelter with all your metadata, with all your keywords, with all your descriptions and so on, and customers can buy your images and your videos from Photo Shelter. Okay, but what Photo Shelter do, which is different to a lot of the other online services, they have the trade pricing, what they call rights manage pricing structure. So they know what Alamy and Getty and AP and all the big agencies, what they charge for images. So you could say, I want to buy your image for my newspaper that gets printed in London that has 2 million circulation. And the client will select those parameters and it will give you the trade price, what Alamy and Getty give you. So it's a rights managed license rather than a stock agency. Oh, it's £20 and you get a royalty free license, which you can do with Photo Shelter. Photo Shelter's got a rights managed pricing engine. So you're charging the right amount of money for your image commercially. Now you can put into the pricing formula, you can put a discount. Buy it from me, you get 10% off rather than buying it through my agent. Okay. But the client will choose, oh, it's going on a magazine. It's going on National Geographic front page magazine. And they're paying the appropriate price to go on the front page of that because they've got the pricing structure built into that service. And they hold the file, the client can download the file, the client gets 7 days, whatever you decide to do. But the point being, it's all managed from my end in Classic. So I go publish, the images are all up there in the appropriate gallery, and clients can download and buy them. All the metadata, they're picked up on Google Search. Google Search will take them directly to it. So somebody says, I'm looking for a picture of the two towers in New York the day before or the day of 9/11. It's picked up in Google Images. They click on it, it goes straight to your image in your Photo Shelter site. They want it for a magazine. They type in what the magazine details from the drop down, and it gives them the proper price rather than trying to negotiate. But the point being, all the metadata, the image specs, everything is all managed from Classic as Photo Shelter wants to receive it. And you don't do a thing. And if you change the edit or add more keywords or change the title or expand the description, it will say republish, and it'll overwrite it in the correct location. So the next person that looks at it sees the updated version. So very, very powerful piece of software and plugin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? So slightly different from usual, but we'll look at more of this on a Monday night, different things and so on, what we can do as we go through more of what Classic is. All right. Yeah. But that big note one, very, very handy if you want to write something additional to the image.
Is that stored as metadata?
It is stored on the metadata, yes. And you can select it to export it, yes. Or not to export it. So you can keep it local. So it could be just a private note, because there is a caption, large caption gets exported automatically. Big note doesn't have to be exported. So it can be a private note for yourself about a group of images or one image or something like that. So it could be, a secret location where you took the image and you wanted to write some notes about it. I talk about cricket a lot. So, this was taken on the third run of the ladder, on the stairs, on the pavilion, pointing this way, doing this and so on. And you wanted to remember where you took it. And you could write that note in there on that image. And it would stay just in Classic. So there's not one tool that fits all. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. So that's plugins. Very, very simple. Lots of them are free. Lots of them are very, very cheap. Lots of them, the hierarchical keywords, absolutely brilliant. So looking back at the YouTube video all about keywording I did, that's the plugin that I use, where we go off to I Am Stocker, we copy the keywords, and we can paste them into the plugin, and then it respects the hierarchical structure. So I'm looking for a picture of a train, for example, a particular type of train, a locomotive or whatever. There's all my 20 keywords. I copy them and then paste them into that plugin, and that plugin will put them in the hierarchical keyword structure. To do that, normally you'd have to copy one at a time and paste them in individually or type them in individually. That plugin allows you to copy all 20, paste, apply, done, that quick. And the plugin's, I think, $10, something like that.
That's master keyword.
Yeah, I believe it is. Let me just find it for you and I'll tell you. I don't want to give you any misinformation, Jay. It is Keyword Master. It is, I've put it in there. It's on photographers-toolbox.com. And it's €15, which is $17. And it runs since, I think, Lightroom version 4. Really, really good. It's one of my favorite plugins. So you've got a cache of 20 keywords. It knows they're all separate keywords. And I've customized my keyboard Command Control K for keywords. That launches the plugin in Classic. And then all I do is go Command V, it pastes all the keywords in the boxes. I then hit hierarchical button and it literally drops them all into hierarchical structure. And I just go apply. That's it, done.
Yeah, that sounds really good for me since I have to keyword all my historical files.
Yeah. And this is what I say, people, independent photographers that have learned how to code, or they've got somebody to do it for them, and in the negotiation of the fee, It's, I want you to write a plugin for this and I'll pay you a fee. And they're selling it on to recoup the fee. So you'll find a lot of people have come across these problems that the software doesn't do X. So they've come up with a solution and they've passed it on because Adobe allows you to have this relationship of doing things third party. Okay.
Yep.
Well, lovely to see you. Monday, what are we doing Monday?
Probably another module.
We are doing another module. We are doing, what are we doing? We're doing slideshow. Slideshow module Monday. One of my favorite modules, that is actually. Very slideshow. So I use slideshow to create a video of my images. So a video gallery of my images. Okay. Now,
so with the plugins, we could create a slideshow and then publish it to our Apple TV box.
Yeah.
See it on our
TV. With the slideshow module. Yes, what we're looking at on Monday in our community group.
That's
you cool. you can create a video of your collection. You can set fade, background color, music. You can do lots of things, which we'll look at on Monday. And you create a video. You can put it up on Vimeo. You can send it to Apple TV. You can put it on your phone. You can put it on a website. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You can upload it to social media. But here's the good bit. You can convert it to a GIF file. So when you go through social media, it plays automatically. Because a GIF file is a picture file rather than a video file. In social media, if it's a video, they've got to hit play 9 times out of 10. But if you put it as a GIF, so you create the video, convert it to a GIF, put it up on Facebook, and as people scroll through, the video, or it's the animated picture file, starts to play. So they start to see the transition. So let's say you do 30 images and they show 1 second an image. So you've got a 30-second video and they just fade in between. You can put the metadata on the images and so on. So that's what we're looking at on Monday night.
Right. Wow, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, I love the slideshow module. I wish I used it so much more. And it's something I just don't get around to using. But I do love it. Anyway, I've wrapped it enough today. Lovely to see you all. See you on Monday, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.